A week after inland schools reopened, over 3,000 schools in the Eastern Cape are yet to receive stationery. Unions in the province are threatening to strike over this issue. The Education Department has previously blamed budget shortfalls. For more on this, I'm joined now by SADTU's Chris Mdingi. And of course, it is a week since the coastal province schools reopened. That was on Wednesday last week. Mr. Mdingi, thank you for your time and for joining us here on eNCA. We sort of knew this was going to happen because there had been warnings even before schools reopened in the Eastern Cape that the provision of stationery and books might be a bit of a challenge in the province. But are you surprised by the scale of it all?
Thank you for having me in your show, sir. As the Eastern Cape, in particular the South African Democratic Teachers Union, we are really disturbed by the current state of affairs. Our understanding is that there has been plans in 2021 to start 2022. The technocrats of the department were paid on a monthly basis. We assume and expect them to do what they are supposed to do. They have been advised even through the issuing out of the school's calendar for 2022. What is most disturbing in the prevailing situation in the Eastern Cape is that it's bringing the communities and the schools at loggerheads, because the parents expect the department to provide, as per the new dispensation since 1994, that learners are no longer expected to purchase any stationery for school-related activities. And now, on the 11th hour, if not on the 24th hour, parents are made to understand that this thing which is very much ununderstandable, which we cannot explain, and is causing a lot of tension between principals and them, as if principals, when trying to explain the predicament of the department, are making up stories. And this makes us to be very annoyed as the South African Democratic Teachers Union. Reason also being that it borders on compromising public quality education, which we stand for as SADTU, not only Eastern Cape, but general, because we feel this is the sphere where we operate as South African Democratic Teachers Union. And we cannot be spectators when things of this nature are happening. And when we inquire about this particular phenomenon, time and again, we get memos, we get circulars, which in our view, these circulars and memos are just but malicious compliance, because in our own scrutiny, we have arrived at a conclusion that says they were just issued for the sake of being issued by the department. And to a greater extent, we have a strong sense that they have misled the public, they have misled the nation. And as SADTU, we refuse then to be part of such an endeavor that continues to mislead the nation by peddling something that they know is not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
Further Mr. to Mdingi, that, a worrying factor being that of the term, which is left with less than 40 days before coming to an end.
Mr. Mdingi, just how bad is the situation of non-delivery of what is known as learner-teacher support materials, i.e. stationery and books?
The data that we have gathered up to yesterday afternoon is very clear that there is absolutely nothing that has been done by the department. For us to say is just but a drop in an ocean. We would also be misleading the nation to say so. So the situation is very dire in the Eastern Cape because there is nowhere the learners, including the teachers, can record the work that is being done, because stationery would come in handy when we talk about recording whatever has been shared with learners in the classroom setting by teachers. So that amount of work would go missing to a greater extent because it would not be possible for our children, in particular learners, to record that work. Hence, teachers are always tempted to circumvent, something that we all know. If they circumvent and cause parents to buy, it will be viewed as an illegal move, something that we can never condone as such. Hence, we are saying, if the situation does not change, perhaps we'll be left with no choice but to embark in an industrial action. But we are now awaiting the response from the offices that we have written to, trying to sensitize them about this dire situation. The office of the Premier has been made aware. The office of the governing party has been made aware provincially. The HOD herself has been written to. The MEC has been written to. So we're saying let's have an extremely urgent meeting so that we issue out a clear direction to the schools, and that we believe would avert any blame game that is brewing between the schools and the communities out there. Something which is not of their making, but something that we strongly believe is of the making of the department. And the technocrats, we feel, of the department have failed us in this regard.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Mdingi, thank you. I've got to thank you for your time there. That's SADTU's Chris Mdingi updating us about the situation in the Eastern Cape around the failure to deliver stationery and books to a lot of schools in that province a week after schools in coastal provinces reopened.